I made an album.
The town that dreaded sundown. You can run, you can't hide.
I think most of you know me as a filmmaker or as a YouTuber. I'll take either one, I really don't care. Most would say douchebag. But this was a very long project in the making, and I am so proud of it. So I get to make a video that I always like to make, where I'm going to run through this big project and just kind of explain the thought process behind all the creative decisions behind it. So this album has been in the works for about 500 days. In fact, it was exactly 500 days. We started recording, and gradually over the course of time, it was very inconsistent. We'd go sometimes months without laying down any tracks or writing any songs, or we'd go through like a week where we'd record like 7 drum tracks all in one go. It was very hectic, but we somehow, some way, finished it. The album is called It Came From College Radio, and the band is called The Ideal. I am the lead guitarist and the frontman, the reluctant frontman. Originally, the lineup of the band was John as our frontman and lead guitarist, and then I was the rhythm guitarist, Alex was our bassist, and Carson was our drummer. But right when the album was starting to kind of be recorded, Carson left the band, and John took over on drums. He was primarily a drummer before that, and he just likes drumming over being a frontman, and that left me to be the reluctant frontman.
My name is Cole. I'm your reluctant frontman today.
Where's your solo?
That's my solo.
At the same time, though, it allowed me to write a lot of the songs on the album, and it was just very different being a songwriter in this kind of collaborative space because, you know, I've played music my whole life. I started out as a bassist in middle school and gradually worked my way up to playing guitar. I learned ukulele. Right now I'm learning the drums, which has been hell. Kind of just presenting a song to a group of guys and saying, let's turn this into something. It's so much fun. The first song is basically just an intro track. It's called It Came From College Radio. And the idea is to really lay out the themes of the album, which is this like 50s B-movie, horror movie kind of vibe, but it's still goofy. Like I'm doing a Rod Serling impression at the start.
Do not adjust your listening device. You are receiving a transmission from a forgotten frequency, bleeding through from another time and place. It came from college radio.
And the whole thing is just supposed to be kind of like, we're going to have fun here. Relax. This is a fun kind of punk album. Enjoy it. But the opening of this is really the start of The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which is a song that I had written, I want to say like in the summer of 2024. I just couldn't stop playing that little riff on the guitar, and that would just be something, as soon as I grabbed the guitar, I'd just start playing it nonstop. While we were prepping for a show, we were like, hey, we should do some original material and see what we can do there. And I played the riff and I kind of explained the thought process of the song in my head. And then we translated that to the very first live version of The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which is a mess if you hear it. It's on streaming services, which is crazy. But the first time we ever did it, it was just so hectic. That song has taken a lot of leaps and bounds since then. I know I really wanted it to kind of be like the band Hers, but just a bit heavier, where it's still very melodic. There's like this beautiful little kind of like lead guitar line throughout, and the verses are just kind of like just the drums and the bass to keep it simple, especially because I struggle with singing and playing guitar at the same time, at least if it's something super complex. But with Sundown, lyrically, I'm like, let's go full in on horror movies. I love the Misfits, but it'd be fun if we do this kind of romanticized version of it where every lyric is a horror movie. So, for example, from beyond the grave, I wake in fright. Those are the two like first lines of the entire song. And of course, the chorus is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Like it just references that movie outright.
From beyond the grave, I wake in fright. Like a shockwave, it's fight or flight. The town that dreaded sundown. You can run, you can't hide. The town that dreaded sundown. You can run, you can't hide.
But I wanted it to almost be like this idea of like a vampire basically telling the female love interest, like, you know, like, I'm here, you know, from beyond the grave, like, I'm here, I'm this tortured soul, and but at the same time, like, I'm gonna kill you. Like, it's this very tongue-in-cheek sort of vibe that I was really trying to go after. This song took forever to record. There are so many demos of it throughout the years just because I wasn't sure what to do with my voice. This is the most melodic song on the album for sure, and I really didn't want to mess this up. It has so much potential with the pop hook element of it. And there's a lot of versions of this where I'm just yelling, because that's really my vocal style up until that point. I was just sort of yelling the words and hoping that would be good enough. I remember hearing in some Quiet Riot documentary that that's what the lead singer in that band would do, and I'm just like, oh, I'll do that. And in the first ever live version, it's kind of just that. I'm just sort of yelling the lyrics. As it goes on, though, in the multiple versions, you hear me start to kind of understand, okay, I naturally speak at a lower register, so if I just kind of sing a bit deeper and go almost like the band Interpol, if you've ever heard their song Evil, that was a huge inspiration for me vocally on this track, because I'm like, I'm going to just be laid back, and that's going to kind of contrast the chaos of the music around it, and it really worked well.
Standing next to you, the beasts are closing in. What should we even do, living in this house of sin?
I had Undogmatic on Fiverr mix it for me because we just couldn't figure out how to get the S's in my voice to go away. Like the town that dreaded sundown, like that S was just, you could hear it in the demo like all the time, and it was pissing me off.
The town that dreaded sundown, you can run, you can't hide.
So he mixed and mastered it. It sounds amazing. I'm so happy we went to him. And that was, I guess, the lead single. Technically, we released a song before that, but really, The Town That Dreaded Sundown, I envision as being the single of the album. One after that in the track list is Florida Man. Now, this was the very first song that we had ever written for this album. We had gotten in the studio. John, our drummer, was like, all right, I'm going to go take a dump. You just start up the console, get the mix board ready, and then just start recording some bullshit just to make sure everything works. And I go, okay, we'll do. So I just start playing a basic punk rock riff. And we built Florida Man around that one little trial run where we were talking about like South Park and, you know, how much we love that show. And during that guitar riff, John kept going, Alabama man. We were just like thinking about that South Park episode. And so we ended up just making a comedy song around Florida Man. And we're like, oh, is this something we should even do? Like, should we be funny? Should we be kind of like Primus? And I guess we're sort of in the middle now. The verses of this song, though, have gone through so many changes over the course of these 500 days. At one point, we've always done the news broadcaster kind of deal, but originally we were just reading news articles, and then we're kind of like, this is funny, but we really can't sell this because it's just we're reading someone else's work. And then in future demos, we tried to kind of make a story. When we did it live, and we still kind of do this live, we would just sort of improvise, and we just like point at someone in the crowd and be like, that's the Florida Man there, get him. Funny story too, when we were premiering the live version of Florida Man for the very first time, a bunch of cops came in, and then we were like, oh, this one's for you guys. And then we just started doing Florida Man while like looking directly at the cops that like walked into the venue. It was really funny. But what's hilarious about Florida Man is this. We did so many re-recordings. We probably have about 6 different versions of this song. Each of them wildly different, but still somehow the same. It's still Florida Man. Like, we still did that same riff. On the eve of this CD going into pressing, we were just like, I hate this album version of Florida Man. The drums were way too quiet because there was like a hiss in one of the mics, and it just was a terrible mix. Like, being frank with you.
Breaking news! Florida Man has just been arrested for stealing a 2001 Honda Civic.
None of us were happy with it. We tried to like distort it and make it sound more lo-fi. It just didn't work. And so we were in the studio at like midnight, and we're like, okay, we got to lock in right now. And I said, we still have the stems to the very first original demo that we recorded back in 2024. Mind you, this is 2026. This is like March. And we're like, let's just get rid of the MIDI drums that we had on that original demo. And John, you're just going to re-record the drums. And that's going to be the version of the song. So after all that time of re-recording everything, we ended up just going with the original demo version, redoing the drums so that they were actually John on the album. And that was it. Something kind of funny is that our bassist did the guitar solo while our drummer played the bass line. I don't know why we did that, but we flip-flopped.
They want to treat, but they're mowing us down. They want to sing, but they sold every wall. They're all Knuckledraggers!
The fourth track is Knuckledragger. And this one started out as this very basic, just 2 chords like John, 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 John. John, John. That was the whole song. But I wanted something where people can like scream. And at the time, I was just so upset at boomers buying houses, and I just couldn't afford housing. And that was my big problem at the time in my life. I'm like, oh my God, everything's so expensive. And so the whole song is just a diss track at boomers, basically taking this punk rock attitude of calling them knuckle draggers, these troglodyte cavemen that are just dragging their knuckles around, living in this old world. It's the most angry song I've ever made. And I'm not really an ageist by any means. Like, that was a very heat of the moment song, but the lyrics themselves are very much like, they want to love, but they spit when we speak. It's that idea of like, it's this out of touch person telling you, just get a second job. You're fine. There's a really great bass solo in this too. I adore the bass playing of our bassist, Alex Manthai. Good Lord, he is so talented. The next one is Runaway Bride of Frankenstein, which is my favorite one to do live. It has such a fun surf rock riff to it, and we all just kind of get in this groove as soon as it starts. And like, if you ever see us play live, we're all looking around at each other just smiling during that song because it's just so like satisfying. Everything about that. That song was written to where I just played that little surf rock riff, and then the guys did it from there.
Lonely enough to have died.
They took everything about that song that's good, and they're responsible for it. I just did the riff, and I had the words in mind, and I'm like, okay. The lyrics are inspired by the show Creature Commandos, specifically the dynamic between the Bride of Frankenstein, the monster, and Dr. Frankenstein. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. It's literally just telling that story. I don't want to spoil it, but I recommend you at least watch that episode, because it is beautiful. It's so good. But the lyrics were immediately, as soon as I saw that episode, I'm like, I'm writing lyrics about this. This is a song right here immediately. It's so, so cool. Track 6, Leave a Light On For Me. This is my least favorite song on the album. I know I'm doing such a good job of like selling this to you people, but let me go through this. We had pretty much finished the album, and I had one of just my random demos lying around, and it was a very depressing song. It's very personal to me. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I had this song that was done, and I had sampled John's drums for the main drum beat, and I was like, hey, I know the album's pretty much done, but it's not long enough. It's like 25, 27 minutes. I'm like, we need to have this over 30 minutes. And so I sent them Leave a Light On For Me. Finished. It was done. Like, that version is what you hear on the album. And the guys were like, no, I'm okay. I don't think this is the right fit. And I'm like, I totally get it. And then a couple days go by, and John's like, I fucking love this song. He's like, we got to have this on the album. It's so atmospheric. He's like, it reminds me of like The Cure, and it reminds me of Ween. And I'm just like, all right, we'll have it on the album. Great. And then like the next day, I'm like, I regret this. And I tried talking them out of it. I'm like, this song is like too personal. It doesn't belong on the same album as Florida Man. And they're just like, it's going on the album. And I'm like, fine. It'll be on the album. We've never actually played this one live yet. I kind of want to, kind of don't. I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. But it's really atmospheric. It's very slow. And it totally contrasts everything else that came before it. It's a nice, almost palate cleanser in a way. The next track is Tetsuo. This was the easiest song to make on the entire album because I had written all of it myself just in one go. I wrote the riff, I was just playing guitar and I just went bam, 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 and then I'm like, okay, cool. Those are the notes, here's the chords, and I just played the chords, and then I kind of did some palm mutes for the verse. And then for the bass, I'm like, well, I think Alex is probably going to change the bass, so I'm just going to do a super simple bass thing. And then for the drums, I just did, punk MIDI, and then put some words on it. And then I was like, hey guys, they were over at the house, we were recording, and I'm like, let's just re-record the drums and re-record the bass and keep everything else the exact same. And then that was the song. Like, it was really easy, except for the vocals. I had done multiple vocal takes and just didn't like it. And we were listening to the Ween album, I think it's Quebec, the one with It's Gonna Be a Long Night on it. And I'm just like, man, I just love how he has that like distorted, like, it's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night, there'll be no second chance for you. Like, I want that Motorhead type of sound to my voice, because it does sound like a Motorhead song. And so we stayed up super late in the studio working on this, and eventually I was just like, fuck it. Here's what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to blow my voice out. We're going to just get through one verse, one take. Do the next verse in one take, and by verse 3, I should be barely hanging on, and we should be good to go, and then that should end the session. We did that. I did 2 takes of verse 1, which kind of messed me up a bit, but I was just giving it my all.
No time to lose, transformation, don't refuse, burn down the foolish town, wiped out without a sound.
Do not do that, by the way. Do not do what I was doing for this, where you are screaming from here. I'm now seeing a vocal coach, and I'm learning to scream from the diaphragm. But for that song, I was screaming from my throat, and it got to the point where I was like this for 4 days straight, and my voice was dead. But I'm screaming through the words. Lyrically, it's about the Japanese body horror movie Tetsuo the Iron Man. There's some pretty explicit references to the movie in the lyrics, specifically the line, wife can't ever see my face, my metal drill she will taste. That one had us all laughing, just because if you know the scene, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's if you're a kid, don't watch that movie, please. I did as a kid, and that's a mistake. I shouldn't have seen that. I also had a little bit of a tribute to Eddie Van Halen in the guitar solo by doing a bit of finger tapping. The guitar I actually play on stage most of the time is an EVH. It's the Wolfgang model. Oh, amazing guitar. I'd take a bullet for that thing. Though in the album cover, I'm actually playing a little bit of it's a Jackson. I bought that in October of 2024, and that was my primary stage guitar for a long time. And I still love that thing. The only problem is I'm 6'8". I'm a big guy, and when you play that on stage, it looks like you're playing a little kid's guitar. So the Wolfgang one is a lot better for that sort of like visual thing, to where you're seeing me and you're not going like, well, why can he not afford a full-size guitar? Track 8 is Repetition. This one was more of a jam song that we had just kind of, messed around with at a show, and it was not good originally. We were just sort of like, just saying the same things over and over again. It was supposed to be kind of like a fiddler song where it's just very punky. And we've tried to record that one multiple times. It didn't actually work out until the guys were messing around and they started just doing this sort of boom, 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 with the kick and the bass both going. And then I'm like, oh, that is actually really cool because we were working it out where he'd have a drum solo in the middle of the song, and then it would kind of lead into that boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, what if we just opened with that to make it more dynamic? And so the song, as a result, is more interesting than just a constant, a punk song all the way through. The lyrics are about my dissatisfaction with every movie and like video game nowadays just being a sequel or a prequel or a remake, and there's nothing original, which, it's like there are original things, but it's just supposed to be this sort of like angsty, punk sound. That's really all it is. Track 9 is Evil Fuzz. This song has been around since I was 14 years old. It's almost a decade old. Not the version, but the actual, the song itself. I had written it out, and I actually posted it on SoundCloud under the band name Public Access Television. And that was going to be like a side project I would have done. And I ended up just releasing a cover of One Potato, Two Potato, and then I did Evil Fuzz, and then I never touched that name ever again. Regardless, I sent that demo of Evil Fuzz to the band, and I'm like, would you guys want to re-record this? It might be kind of fun. And we ended up changing the words a bit, but for the most part, it's like the same thing. We just did the riff, and then in the studio, we played it through as it was on the demo, and then we kind of stopped, and I looked at them, and I gave them this little look, and they were like, what's he about to do? And I started playing a whole new riff that I just came up with on the spot, and it turned into like this big jam session. So that's why the song just kind of goes on as like an instrumental for a while, and it's all these like doom metal type sounds. It's our tribute to Black Sabbath, which is a band that I just adore. But on top of that too, it's like this is just us jamming in the studio, one take, and that was it. That was the final version. So we went in, set up, and at first everyone was like, oh, that kind of sucked. And you can actually hear me a little bit in the studio version. You can hear my tempo vocals that I was doing in that first take, where instead of saying Evil Fuzz, I was saying, I'm bullshitting, because I didn't have lyrics yet. So I was just coming up with like random stuff. And I was like making fun of John and like saying he looked fat and sweaty. Like we were both just like making fun of each other. You can hear it in the actual audio in the song.
And he said just one phrase.
Put the fries in the bag, don't move an inch. Put the fries in the bag, don't make me flinch. Put the fries in the bag, don't move an inch. Put the fries in the bag, don't make me flinch.
Track 10 is Put the Fries in the Bag. This was another demo that I had made while we were just kind of doing our normal recording sessions, and then I showed the band and they all dug it, but we didn't have any words yet. The temp title was Put the Fries in the Bag because I think I was watching some Joshua Block documentary thing from like Turkey Tom, and then I'm like, oh, I'll just title this demo Put the Fries in the Bag, but that won't be the actual title.
Joshua Block.
Oh my fucking
Put the fries in the bag. You're unemployed.
No, I'm not.
And then as John and I were driving to Spirit Halloween to film a video that's actually on this channel, we were kind of like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if the chorus was, put the fries in the bag, and we're singing the guitar riff part like King Gizzard would. And then that just became the song, and it's kind of like a Florida Man one, where we're sort of doing a comedic song. It has some darker elements, but it's still just, it's more lighthearted and fun. And I love this song so much. It's so catchy. Oh man, my little Joshua Block impression at the end of the song just kills me every time. We were just dying laughing while recording this.
He told me to put the fries in the bag. I didn't even want to do it, but I did. And they fired me.
And that's the case for most of the songs, actually. There's parts throughout this where you can hear us just laughing in the background while we're recording. A good one is Repetition. In that second part where we're going sequels, prequels, I can't get enough, someone, I don't remember who, I think it was John, I think he said squeakquels, like Alvin and the Chipmunks 2, the squeakquel. And then you hear Carson, who was our drummer prior to leaving the band, but he still hung around for recording sessions. You can hear him start laughing, and then at the end of the song, that's him saying, no, I died when you said squeakquels. Like that, we like to keep that stuff in because it just feels like you're there with us recording. Track 11 is Joan of Arkansas. I had come up with this little demo, and originally the lyrics were a lot heavier. The idea was it was about a trans youth who is, dealing with being in this kind of like podunk town that, no one really understands them and they're discriminated against, and they leave town, they run away. They're, they envision themselves as the Joan of Arkansas. And after talking a bit more with the guys, we were like, these lyrics are really good, but they don't belong on the same album as Florida Man and Put the Fries in the Bag, especially since Fries in the Bag is right before it. So John rewrote the lyrics and he sang it himself instead of me singing it, which was a big relief on my end. When we do this one live, I actually play the drums on this, which is pretty cool. But it's a really interesting track, especially because when we do it live, it's so different from the studio version. I love this one though. It's great. And finally, track 12, Days Had to End. This was one of the first songs that we had ever written for the album, but the demo version sounds nothing like the studio version. The studio version is slow, it's acoustic, it's gorgeous, it's got this wonderful orchestral symphony from Andy, who stepped in to kind of help us out with that part of the album. Originally, though, this was more like Blink-182 sounding. Here's what the original demo was.
Take me back to the time that really shaped me. I miss my old town and all of my old friends. Memories live on, but the days had to end.
We had recorded this and we're like, cool, this might be the first ever single that we put out. It was going to be called Pop Punk Fiesta, but after a while John started playing it acoustically. He premiered it live at a show acoustically. He just was doing it just with the guitar, and we're like, oh, it's actually nice because the lyrics are so thoughtful. It works better in that way. And then eventually we just recorded an acoustic version, added some symphony stuff, and we're like, man, this is so much better than the punk version.
The best in the worst of times, and I think that's all right, because all of it made us who we are.
So there's a chance that punk version will become something in the future. We'll just do new vocals on it, different words, what have you. But I'm just so insanely proud of how this is turning out. If you're curious, if you want to listen to this, it's on all major streaming platforms. It's on Spotify, Apple Music. It's here on YouTube. You can check out our YouTube channel, The Ideal YouTube channel, in the description. It's going to be there. I'm probably going to pin a comment from that page. But this has been such a fun and unique project, and it's still ongoing. You may be wondering, how so? Why is this ongoing if you put the album out? Well, if you go to the YouTube channel right now, we're releasing weekly music videos. We didn't exactly put out singles, but what we did do was we released the album on just one day with barely any hype, and then we're going to sort of retroactively build hype by releasing music videos one a week. So the music video for Days Had to End is already out right now. The music video for Tetsuo will be out on Tuesday. In fact, I think when this comes out, it might already be out. I don't know. I'm recording this on on Saturday the 18th, so we'll see what happens. Man, I got to tell you, this project is like nothing else. So stay tuned. Go subscribe to the Ideal YouTube channel if you like what you had to hear. We're already cooking up album number 2. We're trying to get some shows, so if you want to see some of our live stuff, check it out there. If you know any venues or you have a venue yourself, please let us know. We are more than willing to play anywhere. We are not going to be pretentious. We're not going to ask for a ton of money or anything. We're just starting out. We want to get the word out about the album. And, we're all for supporting local venues, fuck Ticketmaster. I don't know. But yeah, if you want to book us for anything, you can check out our website. That'll be linked below as well. And you can just, contact us that way. I should state we are in the Wisconsin area, so preferably Midwest. But if there is something that's a bit far away, and it's, kind of cool, we might drive out there. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I don't want to make any promises, though. But, again, last little thing. Please stream The Ideal It came from college radio. This album was recorded in a college radio station, hence the title. It's a labor of love from a bunch of college kids, and I guess most of us have graduated now. So regardless, I am so proud of this project, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Go and stream it if you like what you had to hear. I'm Cole McCormick, this is Firewood Media, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.
And now, our feature presentation.
Do not adjust your listening device. You are receiving a transmission from a forgotten frequency, bleeding through from another time and place. It came from college radio.
Well, you used to really be scared here.
Johnny,
You're still afraid.
stop it now. I mean it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
Like a shockwave, it's fight or flight. The town that dreaded sundown, you can run, you can't hide. The town that dreaded sundown, you can run, you can't hide. Are closing in. What should we even do, living in this house of sin? The town that dreaded sundown, you can run, you can't hide. The town that dreaded sundown, you can run, you can't hide.
checkered flag. He was taken into custody while arguing with a parking meter. Authorities confirm he is smiling in the mugshot and asked if this counts as his community service. We now return to our top story with breaking developments. Florida man has reportedly escaped from the county jail. Surveillance footage shows him sliding through an air vent, coated in sunscreen, and shouting freedom on the way out. He was last seen commenting commandeering an airboat and declaring the swamp to be a sovereign nation. Authorities have advised all residents to secure any and all reptiles in the area.
Runaway bride of Frankenstein, the one and only of her kind. Runaway bride, lonely enough to have died.
Frisk the earth for samples. Will she wear a plaid skirt, causing horrific scandals? Runaway bride
of Frankenstein, the one and only of her kind. Runaway bride, lonely enough to have died.
leave a light on for me. Leave a light, leave a light, leave a light on for me.
gotta listen through it though.
I need more repetition. I need more repetition. I need more repetition. Sequels, prequels, I can't get enough. Sequels, prequels, I can't get enough. Sequels, prequels, I can't get enough. Sequels, prequels, I can't get enough.
beside me, put a gun up to my neck. And he said just one phrase.
Put the fries in the bag, don't move an inch. Put the fries in the bag, don't make me flinch. Put the fries in the bag, don't move an inch. Put the fries in the bag, don't make me flinch.
Everything the man asked. That gun was very large. After a while, he had everything he needed, and he left in the night. I never saw him again.
Put the fries in the bag, don't move an inch. Put the fries in the bag, don't make me flinch. Put the fries in the bag, don't move an inch. Put the fries in the bag, don't make me flinch.
Saw a lack of fries in the fryer. He handed me a pink slip and told me to get out. I was fired for doing one simple thing.
Put the fries in the bag, don't move an inch. Put the fries in the bag, don't make me flinch. Put the fries in the bag, don't move an inch. Put the fries in the bag, don't make me flinch.
Told me to put the fries in the bag. I didn't even want to do it, but I did. And they fired me.
Joan of Arkansas really hates the scene. She's mommy's little monster and a drama queen. A podunk wheel
cherish everything that we did honestly. I miss those days more and more and more. Driving downtown in the evening, blasting the same CDs found cheap at a local record store. Take me back to the days that really shaped me. Take me back to the times that really made me. I miss my old town and all of my old friends' memories live on, but those days had to end. The best and the worst of times, and I think that's alright, because all of it made us who we are. The years have passed and everything has changed. Nothing remains the same, except that we lived our best.